It's time to go racing again. Live action of Heat 2C coming your way. And also coming your way right into your living room as fast as there is on the water, and the most experienced driver in a boat, the Elam crew. Brian Perkins didn't get to start yesterday, but he will today, so how will he do? And a bad day 24 hours ago for Jean Thierret. Is the U-37 Beacon boat ready to plumb for a win? We'll see in Heat 2C.
Heat 2C of the Chevy Cup at Seafair is brought to you by KIRO TV.com. Your source at work for breaking news, headlines, your pinpoint forecast, and more anytime.
Line up for Heat 2C, the Hoss Mortgage Investors Boat number 2, the Elam Plus, the plumbing joint, and Beacon Plumbing is repaired and out on the course. It appears as though all 4 boats are out there. 2.5 minutes to go. They'll be staging up. The sun is breaking through here on Lake Washington, and we're going to start talking about these drivers. The most experienced guy and some young guys, too. Here is Jimmy King. Michael?
Jimmy King simply has to win this one. He wants to get into the final on the front row. He's had a difficult time doing that. The Northwest has not been kind to him. He's got to drive hard in this one.
Chip, Dave Villwock is looking to move into second place all time with wins. He is the man to beat today.
This is a dream team. Not only do they have a great driver in the cockpit, they have a great engine man, a great propeller man, and a great gearbox man. This is a dream team.
Bill Rocky, is there a reason why this team can't win today?
Well, the only reason that would be is Dave said it wasn't 100% in his first heat, believe it or not, and they adjusted a couple things. We'll see what happens in this heat.
How about the U-21 boat, the plumbing joint boat? Brian Perkins didn't even start yesterday.
Well, this is a team that's dreaming, not quite a dream team yet. They lost a prop yesterday, didn't get started. This is a promising young man. That Perkins family, his little sister, of course, driving the Unlimited Lights. This is a family that likes to go racing, and this fellow has to prove something now.
And, Chip, I remember the last 2 years you raved about Jean Thierret, and he won 2 straight Seafairs, but trouble yesterday.
He's in a deep hole. He has to win here, most likely, to get into the final. This is going to be tough.
Guard, that team has been working all morning long and through the night to get that boat ready, right?
You got that right. They've repaired the boat. They're ready to go. And I talked with Jean Thierret a few minutes ago. He is so excited just to get on the water. It's the 3rd heat of the day, and he's been watching all this racing. He's happy to get to action.
All right, Guard, and Pat, we're inside of a minute, the fastest boat.
And Jack in the Box congratulates Auburn's David Villwock in that all-orange and lightning-fast Elam, qualified at 156.501 for Heat 2C and for the best in fast food anytime. Stop at your nearest Jack in the Box.
Michael, for a fast boat, they are slowing down as they always do into that last corner, getting scored up.
Yeah, they are creeping around the corner. They want to get into their lanes and set them as they enter that yellow buoy there in the upper part of the corner, coming around hard as he always does. Is Jimmy King. He needs to keep boat speed up. He's got a gearbox connected right to the engine, and he needs engine speed all the way to the line, and he's coming down strong. You're looking at the view from Jean Thierret's cockpit at this time, and he is in the second lane. Jimmy King leads him to the line, and Jimmy King is too early. He goes over too fast. The other 2 are about right on time, but Jimmy King, unfortunately, is about 1.25 seconds away when he comes on the line, and that's going to cost him.
Now, Dave Villwock, who's in lane 2 right out here, if he can beat Jean Thierret right here, he won't even have to deal with him in the final. But Jean Thierret's going to try and stop that. Right now, he's got to lead on Dave.
And Dave knows that. And basically, he's going to put high pressure on him this whole first lap or so. He's not going to jeopardize anything because Dave could possibly wind up paying a cost if he makes any kind of a mistake or if anything mechanical happens to him for at least a lap. He's going to stay with, boy, that was a nice, tight little bit of hip checking out there coming out of that corner.
John Thierret swings for the fence, whether it's the final heat, an elimination heat, or a provisional heat. And if he can win this, he can stay alive and maybe get into that final that he's won the last 2 years.
That lap was 144 miles an hour.
Jean Thierret in the lead now, coming off the corner here on the second of 3 times around this race course. These are sprint heats. Dave Villwock appears to be satisfied that he isn't going to put too much pressure on him. But Jimmy King, who is in a must-win situation, is thinking, I've got to go all the way to the wall. I cannot possibly let Dave beat me.
I tell you what, this is a disappointment for Dave. It truly is, even though this is only an elimination heat, because as I said earlier, if he could have beat John Theoret in this heat, he probably wouldn't have had to face him in the final.
And he still knows that, but then something may be happening with respect to that orange boat that Dave is not happy with. Jean Theoret seeing nothing but fresh water out in front of him, no other rooster tails. Dave Villwalk, a rooster tail behind, comes across the line in second place at the end of lap number 2, and Jimmy King across in third place.
I gotta tell you, they're banging their heads on the bars in Ballard because Villwalk's about to lose a heat.
He is about to lose a heat, and except when he went upside down in one heat this year, he hasn't lost one all season. So this is a first for Dave Villwalk and the Elam team on Lake Washington. Up the back chute now. Jean Theoret's going to own this one. It appears that Dave Villwalk will not be able to catch him. Dave Villwalk in second place in the Elam Plus. He's got an easy ride into the final heat already with sufficient points, it would appear. But he was hoping, as Chip said, that Jean Theoret would be eliminated in this one and he could get him off the card table, so to speak. Not going to happen. Jean Theoret's going to get the checkered flag for the Shoemaker's team. Has finally seen a winner circled in a heat. Second place, the Elam Plus. Third place coming across the line. It is Jimmy King in the Haas Mortgage. Pat?
Give a listen to this, Mike. He turned the first, Theoret turned the first lap at 145, and then the second lap at 150.316 miles an hour in competition water.
Let me tell you something about John Theoret. In Quebec, Canada, he is Ken Griffey Jr. This guy is an all-star in Quebec, and this broadcast is being streamed live on computer, and I can tell you that everybody in Valleyfield, Quebec, is cheering right now.
Well, now there's head games also, because immediately Dave Villwalk goes back to the pit area. Obviously not happy with that run at all. Obviously concerned now because he saw what young David Bryant did coming in that last heat and the speed he showed from the outside. Now he sees that Theoret can beat him in a heat. He's beginning to wonder what's going on. Where are my fates?
And the move of the race was in the second lap when Theoret came around.
We're looking at the start here, Pat, and as Jimmy King is the third boat on the from the inside, which is right to left, and he leads them, but he doesn't have the boat speed. The two guys that are really quick is the yellow and the orange boat. Now here is where we go into the corner. Now watch what Theoret does here. He's going to leave the lane, of course. He's going to leave all the room necessary, but he's going to bear just tight enough to make Dave Villwalk think about him. And what does Villwalk do as we continue on? He takes a wider berth, and Theoret tightens down. That's how he managed to snap into that lead. And then he had to depend upon raw boat speed, which that particular hull has not shown a whole lot of. It was the boat speed that the Elam has always had that seemed to be the thing that could take Dave Villwalk across, but it didn't happen this time.
Well, Villwalk nearly caught him in the north turn a couple of times, and he